I miss Sushi so much. So this is the first episode of the force Human Gear to prove their worth to humans who hate them regardless of how dangerous it might be for the poor Human Gear arc. My god, seriously, what happened to me? I never used to be this negative. We meet sushi chef Ikan Nigiro because, of course, his name has to pertain to sushi. Why is Izu so against Adato eating the sushi? Wouldn't taste testing be a good thing? So they're trying to sell a Human Gear to a sushi place because that's not disturbing at all. And of course the first guy in the showing off Human Gear at their jobs and pretending they're happy arc is very anti-Human Gear. And of course when you get a grumpy guy outright claiming that he refuses to work with someone because he's a robot, any decent person would think, okay, well I'm not going to subject this poor Human Gear to you then, I'm not going to force you to work for someone who is already displaying that he's perfectly prepared to discriminate against you. Right? I mean, people have the potential to change and all that, but it shouldn't have to be down to the poor Human Gear to get the humans to change his mind. Why should anyone be subjected to that? The first Human Gear to be hacked in this episode is a barber whose name I assume has some kind of relation to his occupation, but he reacts before he's hacked, which is interesting. He came across all confused before Jin even announced himself, like he could sense something was off. I don't know what that means, but I thought it was interesting. The sushi guy explodes over a bloody piece of squid and starts going off at Adato about poor Nigiro because a damn robot could never be a sushi chef and Human Gear don't have a heart, and just sounding generally aggressive, at which point our super compassionate hero gets the poor Human Gear out of this hostile situation, right? And tells him not to listen to this grumpy old man, right? His first priority would be the Human Gear, whose life he treats equally to humans. He'd be focused on him and making sure he's okay after that, wouldn't he? Surely his reaction to that wouldn't just be to groan because it looks like they're not getting that contract after all. During these retrospectives, I'd really like to take a quick tangent where we look into actual artificial intelligence in these occupations, and I came across Gastrograph AI, designed to be used in product development that, with machine learning, can predict flavour preferences and consumer perception. So not only can AI help put together food, but it can help actually create new products. This website has a blog, and apparently the AI has decided that oat milk is the best non-dairy milk. My personal go-to milk is coconut, but for some reason that wasn't an option. Anyway, moving on. I completely forgot that Human Gear having hearts was a conversation that was had. This is obviously a huge deal at the end of the series, but I completely forgot it was brought up so early. It's so heartbreaking and creepy when Human Gear talk about themselves like tools. Nigiro asked if it's possible for a Human Gear to have a heart, and Izu says it isn't, but she says it very sharply, practically interrupts him to say it. Izu is very quick to shut down that idea. I don't know what to say about that, it's just sad and disturbing, and Human Gear deserves so much better in this series. Human Gear go through a lot, and I just want Adato to comfort a Human Gear. I just want a Human Gear to be the centre of Adato's attention for themselves, not for what they can do for humans. Nigiro is here talking about hearts, looking genuinely sad when Izu says it isn't possible. Say something, damn it! Instead he just asks Izu to look up something about the restaurant. He's just so far removed from the situation, it's infuriating, just say something nice. He's just focused on getting the human to agree to work with Nigiro and not how Nigiro might be affected by all of this. They go back to the restaurant, the guy stumbles and Nigiro helps him, which I understand is supposed to be nice, but this guy has been nothing but mean to poor Nigiro, and all he does in return is help him. It's just all about what Human Gear can do for humans. They have a box of sushi that Nigiro spent all morning working on. It turns out that none of his apprentices wanted to take over the restaurant. He says they were unable to keep up and it left them broken-hearted, to which Nigiro says, "Mine won't break, I have no heart," which is just sad and untrue and awful to hear, my poor boy. The guy has a secret technique which Nigiro learned and analysed and concluded that the technique was a symbol of the true heart the restaurant is named after. And Nigiro looks very nervous when waiting for the guy's verdict, and he looks so happy when he wins him over. He so clearly has a heart. So of course Nigiro gets hacked and becomes a Magia and attacks as Magia do, and Adato's like, "Stop it, Nigiro," which I swear didn't bug me back then. The whole thing he does where he grabs the hacked Human Gear and yells at them to stop never used to bother me. It struck me as a heat of the moment thing. It was passion and fear and desperation, but now, with all the "you should know who you are now" yelling at Horobi for not being able to stop being hacked crap, now it bothers me. It's like when you're mad at someone and they'll do something that usually just mildly irritates you, but now it actually enrages you because you're already mad at them. Then he says, after he got through to the chef. And, why is that relevant? Then Nigado blends into a crowd of Maggie. Yua shows up and starts shooting, and Adato tells her to stop. So again, he does not want to fight Maggie. I give him that. Humagate are our partners. People have a relationship with them. It still bothers me that we're justifying Humagate's rights to live based on their relationship with humanity. Yua insists they are indeed tools, and this is why it took me a while to warm to her. Fua very clearly had a trauma relating to Humagate, and you shouldn't discriminate against an entire group of people, but he never should have been allowed to work for Ames. Yua, on the other hand, is very calm in her dehumanising is not a good word, her general awfulness towards Humagate. My point is, it's difficult to hear someone talking like that, someone insisting that Humagate are in fact tools and still see them as a good person. I also forgot how early we were given hints of Guy. This is episode 3, just how early did he come into this? What even is time? Anyway, I don't actually have that much to say about this episode. I don't think. I'm worried that these first few videos are going to end up getting very repetitive, and I have a horrible memory, so I apologise in advance. Next episode is the bus guide episode, where we learn a bit about what happened at daybreak, and I'm sure I'll have plenty to say about that.